hope you've had yourself a wonderful day, particularly right here within the Kenyatta University. We've been celebrating doubles. First, the incoming of the greatest cohort of freshers to campus, and at the same time the installation of our Vice Chancellor on a substantive capacity. A lot has been transpiring, of course, also across the country, and we've been able to compile for you reports on this and much more. But before we dive into it, let's break into it officially.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Emmanuel Kutosi.
Indeed, a warm welcome to the broadcast, and let's dive straight into it, where as Professor John Okumu walks into the Vice Chancellor's office at the Kenyatta University, he does so as a man whose professional life has been deeply intertwined with the institution for more than 4 decades. Edwin Nyamu narrates the full biography of the new Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor, who came from being a student to now leading the premier institution in Kenya.
Professor John Okumu's journey at Kenyatta University has come full circle, more than 4 decades after he first joined the institution as a student. In 1983, he enrolled for a Bachelor of Education Science, specializing in physics and mathematics. His career then progressed through several academic and administrative positions, including tutorial fellow, lecturer, senior lecturer, associate professor, professor, and senior administrator. On July 27, 2026, Okumu assumed the university's highest executive office as its 7th Vice Chancellor, capping a career spanning 43 years at the institution. Okumu completed his undergraduate studies in 1986 and immediately continued his academic journey at KU, enrolling for a Master's of Science in Condensed Matter Physics. He completed the master's degree in 1988, the same year he transitioned from being a student to becoming a member of the university's teaching staff. That year, he was appointed a tutorial fellow in the Department of Physics, beginning what would become a long academic career at Kenyatta University. His rise through the academic ranks was gradual. He progressed from tutorial fellow to lecturer, then senior lecturer and associate professor before attaining the rank of professor of physics in 2020. Alongside his academic career, Okumu pursued further studies abroad. Between 1992 and 1996, he undertook doctorate studies at the University of Leeds in the United Kingdom, earning a PhD in condensed matter physics.
One of my students if we would care to say it, he knows what they used to call me when I had a very big beard. So, John, I'm so happy to have you taking over from me. Thank you very much.
But his career at KU was not confined to classroom and laboratories. Okumu increasingly took on administrative responsibility, including serving as acting dean of the School of Pure and Applied Sciences at different points in his career. His most prominent administrative role before becoming Vice Chancellor came in 2010, when he became Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic. He served in that position until 2020, overseeing a wide range of academic functions at the university. The position placed him at the center of academic planning, quality assurance, examination, administrations, programs, and other core university operations.
Professor John Okumu, I hand over to you the strategic plan, key and flag for Kenyatta University as a symbol of continuity and our collective commitment to taking the university forward. May you...
By then, Okumu had accumulated more than 3 decades of experience at the institution. He first entered as a young student. His path to the Vice Chancellorship, however, came at a time of transition for the university. In January 2026, following the end of Professor Paul K. Wainaina's tenure as Vice Chancellor, Okumu was appointed acting Vice Chancellor as the process of selecting a substantive successor got underway.
Professor Wainaina is leaving Kenyatta University on top of the league table, and we commit to keep it there. We also commit to play in the international league.
Then came the decisive moment. Following a competitive recruitment process, Kenyatta University Council appointed Okumu as the substantive Vice-Chancellor on July 27, 2026. For Kenyatta University, his appointment brings to the helm a scholar who has spent decades inside the institution and understands its academic structures, administration, and evolving challenges from the perspective of both a student and a senior manager. For Professor Okumu, the journey from an undergraduate student in 1983 to Vice-Chancellor in 2026 represents the culmination of 43 years of association with Kenyatta University, a career built almost entirely within the institution he now leads.
I'm ready for this. I think I have the necessary experiences. I've been around KU. I know the strengths of the people we work with, and jumping in to make use of them, to build teams to help me do this work, I think it will be easy for me, unlike going to a new institution where you don't know people.
Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
History was written today at the premier Kenyatta University as the institution marked not one but two historic milestones. The 28th day of August has christened itself as a unique day, doubling up as the matriculation, the staff choir, the KU choir, which currently holds the staff choir, the KU choir, which currently holds the title of the best choir nationally, a position it has held for the past 17 years. The melodious voices have set the tone for a day of celebration and promise. The event drew a distinguished assembly of dignitaries from across the region and beyond, underscoring KU's growth stature as a regional academic powerhouse.
Senior university and a top preferred university in Kenya and in the region. Mr. Chancellor, sir, this year, Kenyatta University received the highest number of KUPS Plus students in its history.
Congratulatory messages have flowed from the various invited guests for the man taking over the mantle of the top Kenyan university, one that aims to retain that reputation.
We were looking for leadership capable of responding to the opportunities and challenges facing a large and complex public university in this country.
Professor Okumu began his higher education exploits at the Kenyatta University while it was still a college. Now, he moves to chart and provide direction in the academic giant that adopted his desire to learn back in the day, seemingly entrusting him to do what she did for him.
Food security, artificial intelligence, digital technologies, manufacturing, education, governance, sustainable development, and other emerging areas. We shall promote stronger research partnerships and government, industry, development agencies, and international institutions.
Having presided over several graduation ceremonies in an acting position, he now steps into his substantive role with a clear charge. He's charged with the advancement of research, innovation, and community service, three pillars that will define his tenure.
The responsibility entrusted to you is to preserve what has served this institution well, improve what must change, and open new possibilities for those who will come after us. Our theme, forging ahead in unity, excellence, sustainability, and in greater global impact, captures well the task before the university at this moment. First, unity. Universities thrive when their communities understand that difference need not become division. A university, by its very nature, brings together people.
The 7th KU Vice-Chancellor now takes the coat of arms, charged to have the courage of a lion and in cognition of the need for elephant might to ensure tomorrow is empowered in the minds that land in the Kenyatta University seeking academic excellence. Emmanuel Kutosi, KUTV. Indeed. The congratulations are in order. Now, Kenyatta University today held its 2026 matriculation ceremony, welcoming more than 10,000 first-year students. The ceremony, officiated by University Chancellor Ambassador Dr. Francis Muthaura and newly installed Vice Chancellor John Okumu, Professor John Okumu that is, marked the students' formal admission as they began their academic journey within the institution. The students expressed excitement about the journey ahead, looking forward to further development in their academic pursuits.
The procession
by the university's Chancellor, Ambassador Dr. Francis Muthaura, and the newly inaugurated Vice Chancellor, Professor John Okumu, as part of his first assignment in office, so the administration of oaths to more than 10,000 admitted students.
We are blessed in this year to realize an almost equal placement for both gender.
Matriculation is more than admission. It is also your acceptance of the responsibilities that come with membership of an academic community.
During the ceremony, freshly admitted first-year students of Kenyatta University were challenged to use the opportunity to find ways to trailblaze and ensure they are able to contribute to the country's vision of moving forward. Speaking at the university's graduation square, University Chancellor Ambassador Dr. Francis Muthaura noted the need for students to diligently work on building themselves and the country during their higher education pursuits.
I think is sheer determination, sheer hard work, and the cooperation, and the exchange of ideas, and always allow our minds to really be creative.
Students have expressed optimism and gratitude for the opportunity to be part of Kenyatta University.
Grateful to join the school, and I expect it to shape my future.
Everything is good, smooth, and I've a good experience that Kenyatta University is a big school.
May your years at Kenyatta University be marked by intellectual curiosity, personal growth, meaningful friendship, and academic success. May you graduate not only with qualifications, but with the competence, confidence, and character to serve your communities and contribute positively to Kenya and to the wider world.
In the 2026-2027 academic year first semester, the university has admitted more than 10,700 students, with the number expected to rise as admissions continue. The figure combines government placements through KUTVs and the self-sponsored students. Yvonne Kimuma, KUTV.
Now, for decades, the label developing nation has been Kenya's story. More than a decade after the country celebrated its elevation to a low middle income status. The question now echoes from university podiums to State House. When will that label finally change? This week, as thousands of freshmen at the Kenyatta University received the Chancellor's charge that went far beyond academic achievement. A call to action for a generation that could be the one to seal the country's developing chapter once and for all. Edna Nerea now reports.
It is a status Kenya has carried for as long as many can remember. Officially, the World Bank classifies Kenya as a lower middle income country, a designation achieved in 2014 when a rebasing of the gross domestic product increased the measured size of the economy by 25%, pushing the nation past the lower middle income threshold, but that was over a decade ago. The latest World Bank income classifications retained Kenya in the same bracket, even as 5 nations, Vietnam, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Jordan, and Micronesia, crossed into the upper middle income group. The verdict is clear. Kenya has made progress, but the distance still to cover remains vast.
High-quality education is the shortest route for transforming our country from a developing country to an undeveloped country. That's the shortest route and the most effective route. For how long are we going to remain developing? That very necessary and imperative step is to come from us who are learning, who are students, who are professors, who are engineers.
It was against this backdrop of vision and reality, of promise and procrastination, that Kenyatta University Chancellor Dr. Francis Muthaura addressed the largest intake cohort of students in the institution's history. That distance was precisely the subject of President William Ruto's recent conversations, extending beyond the year 2030, conversations that come as a sizable percentage of the Vision 2030 agenda remains unachieved, with the timeline fast approaching.
Why can't our university be the Harvard of Africa? Why can't it be the Oxford of Africa? What's the difference? What prevents us from moving those few steps ahead?
At the heart of this national reflection is a compelling comparison: Singapore.
Our mindset is more innovative, more creative, and that's why we are learning. And there should be no, you should never accept that since we are Africans, we have always to be followers. Please erase that in your mind. We are capable of being leaders, and we have led in some areas. See, I've said we have led in sports. Why can't we lead in other areas?
Dr. Muthaura's charge to new students came on the backdrop of the ceremony, urging the hope that this cohort will not only successfully achieve the academic requirements, but more crucially, be instrumental in sealing the end of a developing country title for the nation, apart from ushering in a new age on the continent.
Those who will come after us. Our theme, forging ahead in unity, excellence, sustainability, and in greater global impact, captures well the task before the university at this moment. First, unity. Universities thrive when their communities understand that difference need not become division.
Highlighting the opportunities and resources present locally, the KU Chancellor urged the fresh intake to take charge of the call to change their society at a season when Kenya has been directed to assess and intentionally make strides toward visionary milestones.
Responsibility. There will be moments of applause and moments of difficult choices. Listen widely, consult sincerely, and decide with courage.
The Singapore Dream, the Vision 2030 milestones, the Chancellor's charge to the largest cohort of students all point to a nation at crossroads. The label developing has persisted for decades. The question is no longer whether Kenya can change its status, but whether this generation will be the one to finally do it. Edna Nerea, reporting for KUTV, Nairobi.
Kenyans are being urged to prepare for heavy and above average rains as the developing El Nino weather phenomenon intensifies. The Kenya Meteorological Department says the rains are expected from late September through to December, with floods and landslides among the likely risks. The Weather Department forecast above average rainfall across all the 47 counties, with Central Kenya, Rift Valley, Lake Victoria Basin and Western regions expected to experience increasing intensity. Nandi, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma, Siaya, Busia and Nakuru counties are among the areas expected to receive rains from September. Other counties, including Nairobi, Meru and Kiambu, are expected to receive rains from October. All right, and with that cautionary report, we take our first break right here on the Friday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News. Don't go too far, because we have a lot more in store for you, particularly on the political front and beyond.
Hapa ni mitindo ya kipwani, nyumbani kwa tamaduni zetu za kipwani.
Mimi ni mwana mtindo, mwana lugha, msamiati wangu wa Kiswahili katika utangazaji wa mpira, katika mazungumzo wa mawasiliano. Vijana timu ya Liverpool, Alisson Becker anampatia mchezaji huyu mwita Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk ambaye ni captain ananyosha upande wa kulia kumtafuta mchezaji huyu Rio Ngumoha. Kiswahili kimenisaidia sana, manake mimi kizungu.
Interfering with the Independent Election and Boundaries Commission IEBC as preparations for the 2027 general elections gather pace. Speaking in Butere, Kakamega County, Wetangula said political attacks and attempts to influence the IEBC procurement could undermine public confidence in the electoral process. His remarks came amid allegations by Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua that the IEBC tender for a new integrated elections management systems favors the South Korean farm mirror systems. IEBC has rejected the claims, maintaining the procurement is transparent and no company has been awarded the contract.
Mimi kama mwanasiasa na wengine hatuwezi kuingia IEBC kusema karatasi nunua kwa huyu, mashine nunua kwa huyu, sijui nini nunua kwa huyu, petroli nunua kwa huyu. That is not the work of politicians. Wanasiasa tuketi tuache wafanye kazi. IEBC is an independent body under the constitution, working under the direction of nobody, under the compulsion of nobody, na wakifanya kazi yao, uamuzi yao tunaheshimu.
Also, development priorities to boost trade, employment and local industries have taken center stage in Embu County following a meeting between Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and grassroots leaders. The discussion covered new market routes, electricity connections and county industrial parks as the government seeks to drive growth.
Government development plans in Embu are receiving fresh attention, with Deputy President Kithure Kindiki engaging local leaders on infrastructure and economic programs aimed at improving household livelihoods. Talking about local infrastructure projects, the Deputy President highlighted ongoing investments in Embu County, including the structure of 12 modern market to support small traders and mama mboga, extensive road expansion projects, and last-mile electricity connectivity initiatives.
You are the grassroots leaders. Nyinyi ndio watu kueleza watu maneno huko mashinani. Usikisikia watu ya one time wakisema hakuna maendeleo, unawatajia barabara. Nimetaja zaidi ya barabara 7 hapa Embu ambazo zinaendelea. Masoko nimetaja. Mambo ya kahawa nimetaja. Nimetaja mambo mingi.
Defending development records, Kindiki challenged political opponents and critics to account for their own past development records rather than engaging in what he termed retrogressive, divisive or petty politics.
Kwa hivyo ni lazima kila Mkenya awe na kadi ya matibabu ambaye itampunguzia gharama ya matibabu akienda hospitali. Na leo hii katika hospitali zetu za level 2 and 3, health centers and dispensary, matibabu ni free kwa sababu serikali ya Kenya kupitia SHA imelipa katika hiyo primary health care.
Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire, in alignment with the national agenda, she affirmed that the Embu is proactively executing projects aligned with the national bottom-up economic transformation agenda to achieve industrial growth and poverty alleviation at the grassroots level.
Na sijui kama mumeona kwamba huyu kijana yetu kweli ni fire. Hasomi mahali, hakuwa na notes kama zile mimi nabebanga nikiongea na watu wangu, na ametaja project zote za Embu County. Ametaja mabarabara yetu yote. Ameongea maneno ya agenda yetu ya development.
Political and development issues also featured prominently during the engagement with the leaders, linking Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's political future to the 2027 elections and calling for unity in the Mount Kenya region.
Kati tuko na serikali ya upande ule, mlima ni moja, serikali ni nzuri, serikali ni mafuta, tushikilie serikali. Wakati uongozi umekuja upande huu, mlima uliona madharau kama hiyo.
Kama nyinyi muko 2 term na 4 term. Muko 2 term ya William Samoei Ruto na muko 4 term ya Professor Kithure Kindiki.
The initiatives are expected to boost economic opportunities, create jobs and improve livelihood in Embu County. Vivian Anyango, KUTV.
Kihara Member of Parliament and PPK leader Ndindi Nyoro has stepped up his criticism of the Ruto administration, accusing it of raising the tax burden while the cost of doing business continues to increase. Speaking in Kamwangi, Kiambu County, Nyoro questioned the government's commitment to its earlier promises to lower taxes. His remarks followed protests by traders in Nairobi over increased taxation, where police used tear gas to disperse demonstrators. Nyoro also opposed the KRA's new 3.2 million shilling customs benchmark, warning it could further strain small businesses. He further criticized the new police uniforms and called for opposition unity ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Our business people, wale wanauzia mali Nyamakema, na wale wako Ekopa, na wale wako CPT, na wale wote wako Isili na kwingineko, sasa wanaongezewa kodi from 2.5 million per container to 3.2 million per container. We have been looking for government wajadiliane, lakini serikali imewafungia milango. Tunataka tuwapeye KRA na serikali. We cannot watch as our business people wanaagamizwa na hii serikali. And it is very despicable. Tunaona wanabiashara
We head on to the coastal region, where patients in Kilifi County are set to benefit from faster diagnostic services following the launch of an AI-powered digital X-ray and CT scan technology at Malindi Sub-County Hospital. The new system transmits results directly to doctors, reducing delays in testing and supporting a timely treatment. Take a look.
In Kilifi County, Governor Gideon Mung'aro launched Kenya's first AI-powered digital X-ray and CT scan machines at Malindi Sub-County Hospital by integrating direct digital transmission to doctors, immediately speeding up scans to eliminate severe patient testing delays across the region. While speaking during the launch, Kilifi Governor Gideon Mung'aro said the installation of the AI-powered digital X-ray machine, reportedly the first of its kind in the country, marks a significant step in strengthening primary health care services in the county.
Hii ukishapigwa picha pale inaenda straight kwa daktari kwa mtandao na anaona na kueleza mambo ya ugonjwa wako. So sisi lazima tena tubebane na zile filamu ambazo tulikuwa tumezoeana nazo.
Healthcare services in Malindi are set to become more efficient following the acquisition of modern CT scan and AI-powered digital X-ray technology. The system allows diagnostic results to be sent directly to doctors, helping reduce delays, shorten waiting times and support faster treatment.
Katika upande wa upasuaji,
Tumefanya pia uwekezaji mkubwa. Tumeweka vyumba 4 vya kisasa vya upasuaji vyenye vifaa vya kiwango cha juu. Matokeo yake yanaonekana wazi. Idadi ya upasuaji inaongezeka kutoka takriban 140 kwa mwezi hadi 250 kwa mwezi. Hili ni ongezeko la zaidi ya 75%. Maana yake ni kwamba wagonjwa wengi zaidi sasa wanaweza kupata huduma za upasuaji hapa Malindi.
Na tumeambiwa hapa hii mashine ambayo imewekwa hapa ya x-ray ndio ya kwanza katika magatuzi 47, ndio ya kwanza ambayo inatumia artificial intelligence. Manake hiyo, huyo akishapiga hiyo picha inakupatia results mara moja ya kuonyesha kwamba huyu ana ugonjwa huu.
During the unveiling, Sheila Ward, representative Tahir, congratulated nurses for their dedicated service while warning negligent health workers to reform and be accountable.
Wekeni security system. Matusi ni assault. Mtu yoyote akija akitusi daktari na nurses, lazima we protect our staff. Ni lazima wewe ujijue, ukija hapa ukileta matusi kwa nurse wa hiyo hospitali ama daktari ama ofisa wa hiyo hospitali, inakufuata wewe, ni police station.
The new technology is expected to strengthen diagnostic capacity at Malindi Sub-County Hospital, reducing testing delays and improving patient care. Doctors have also been urged to clearly communicate expected waiting times for tests and treatment to avoid misunderstandings. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
And still on health matters, health experts are calling for stronger coordination across health, agriculture and livestock sectors to address the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance. At a regional meeting in Nairobi, researchers warned that resistance can spread among people, animals and the environment, requiring a unified national response.
The rise of antimicrobial resistance is prompting fresh concern among health experts, with researchers in Nairobi urging tighter control of antimicrobial use across human and animal health. Dr. Meshak Nirangu, the director at African Medical and Research Foundation, AMREF Kenya, has called for greater attention to the veterinary sector in the fight against antimicrobial resistance, saying the threat affects both human and animal health and requires joint action across sectors.
ICAS, the International Center for Antimicrobial Resistance Solutions, so it's good to know the full name, is working with others to confront antimicrobial resistance across Africa. And as you can imagine, we know it, this is a big problem, a global health security problem for all of us. It cuts across the antibiotics we use against bacteria, like those causing TB and pneumonia.
He also noted that antifungals used to spray vegetables also greatly contribute to the spread of antimicrobial resistance. Additionally, he called for establishment of a national policy on antimicrobial use in the ministries of health, agriculture and livestock development.
Antimicrobial resistance work needs to happen at every level and every cadre of the health systems. Not just level, but cadre of the health system. It has to reach the community health promoter who prescribes antimalarials and uses antimalarials through community case care. It has to reach the ward nurse, the mother at the pharmacy counter who walks there and needs a drug, an antibiotic, amoxicillin or Zinat or Augmentin, and they get it.
Challenging health researchers across Africa to step up efforts against antimicrobial resistance. The Director of Veterinary Services said the partnership with ICARS will strengthen joint research and help develop practical solutions to the growing threat.
Often a quieter and less visible crisis, yet its consequences are profound. Resistant infections affect people, animals, food systems, livelihoods, and our environment. They also threaten the effectiveness of the medicines and tools on which modern medicine and veterinary practice depend on. The government of Kenya takes this threat with the utmost seriousness.
Experts say The growing threat of antimicrobial resistance requires sustained collaboration, research and responsible use of medicines across human, animal and environmental health to prevent further spread and protect treatment effectiveness. Reporting for KUTV, my name is Vivian Anyango.
Now, Kenya has affirmed its commitment to working with African countries to strengthen regional preparedness and response to cross-border health emergencies. Speaking at the 76th WHO Regional Committee for African meeting in Addis Ababa, Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni said disease outbreaks do not respect national boundaries, making regional cooperation critical. She emphasized the need for countries to strengthen shared surveillance, early detection, and rapid response systems. Muthoni also identified border communities as key partners in monitoring and reporting potential health threats. Kenya says joint preparedness will help protect communities and strengthen Africa's ability to respond to emerging diseases. Indeed, we are back, and this time in the sporting arena where the English Premier League continues today. And we expect to see teams build momentum as the 2026-2027 season continues. This evening particularly, we are going to see Man City facing it off with Crystal Palace, if I'm not wrong. Now, Manchester City, it's the second match of the season. The match is scheduled to kick off at 10. And Saturday, the 29th, the fixture list will feature 4 matches. Liverpool will face Nottingham Forest at 8:30 p.m. Okay, wahoo, that is the lady behind the camera, and Perpetua is the lady directing me tonight. And they tell me that it's come to that time to wrap it up for the Friday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News. Of course, a big bravo to the whole team on the other side, ensuring that everything is coming to you in a unique way. And of course, also to my producer, Edna Nerea. To you at home, I hope, by the way, Edna Nerea will be debuting tomorrow, and be sure to catch her up in the weekend live as she brings it to you in a unique way. Of course, be there to see the new face of KUTV. From Emmanuel Kutosi and the whole team within this news department, it's good night, sweet dreams, God bless. So on the other side, and don't forget to watch KUTV News, particularly tomorrow, as we launch our latest talent. Good night and God bless.